Hey guys, so today you guys are going to be learning how to multiply by 3-digit numbers. So on Monday, we talked about multiplying by 2-digit numbers. Today is going to be pretty similar, but just an extra step. So I'm going to start out with just something basic like this. We have 234 times 123. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different color for each one of my digits in this second factor that I'm multiplying. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply out the 3 to all of the top numbers. So I'm going to do 3 times 4, which is 12, carry the 1. Then 3 times 3, which is 9, plus the 1 that I carried, makes that 10. And then 3 times 2 is 6, plus the 1, which is 7. Now I'm going to change colors so that you guys can see my next partial product. We talked about on Monday how each row is a partial product. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mark out the 3 because I know that I've already used that for all my top numbers. And I'm going to go ahead and hold my place with the placeholder 0 there. I'm going to go ahead and mark these out as well because I know that I'm done with those. So anything that I've done previous to what I'm about to start, I'm going to cross out. So now I can take my 2 and I'm going to multiply it times the 4, the 3, and the 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 2 is 4. Now I'm going to switch colors again, and I'm going to mark out the 2 because I'm done distributing that 2 to all of my top numbers. This time, the difference from what we did Monday to today is I want to make sure that I hold my next digit over. So now I have 2 placeholders. Now I can start by distributing this 1 all the way over here to the 4, then to the 3, and then to the 2. So 1 times 4 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 2 is 2. So now I can add all of my partial products together. 2 plus 0 and 0 makes 2. 0 and 8 and 0 makes 8. 7, 6, and 4 is 17. 1 plus 4 is 5, plus 3 is 8, and then 2. So my answer to this problem is going to be 28,782. Okay, so here's a word problem, still multiplying by 3-digit numbers, but it says, a restaurant served 356 glasses of juice during brunch. The capacity of each glass was 250 milliliters. About how many milliliters of juice did the restaurant serve during brunch? So it tells us that 1 liter is equal to 1,000 milliliters. Okay, so the first thing I want to make sure is that my numbers that I'm working with here are all in milliliters because the question says about how many milliliters of juice did the restaurant serve. So I don't necessarily need to know that 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters because everything is staying the same. I'm not having to change from milliliters to liters in this problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my problem up. I have 356 times 250. Now, when you multiply a number that ends with a 0, you can almost just pretend like that 0 is not even there. But since we've just started learning how to multiply by 3-digit numbers, I'm going to go ahead and show you that entire row of zeros that we're going to end up with. So I'm going to start with this 0 here, and I'm going to take it to the 6, and then the 5, and then the 3. So 0 times 6 is 0, 0 times 5 is 0, and 0 times 3 is 0. So now I can switch colors, and I'm going to mark this one out, and I'm going to hold my place here. Now I'm going to move over to the 5 and take it to the 6, the 5, and the 3. 5 times 6 is 30, and I carry my 3. 5 times 5 is 25, plus that 3 is 28. And then 5 times 3 is 15, plus the 2 is 17. Now I'm going to mark out this 5 and anything else that I used for that last round of multiplication. Now don't forget, this is a very common mistake that a lot of students will make, is they'll put a placeholder here, but they forget to put another one in this column 2. You want to have a placeholder in this column since I just finished using this 5. I want to put a placeholder right here. Okay. So now I'm going to distribute the 2 to the 6. So 2 times 6 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 times 5 is 10 plus the 1 is 11. And then 2 times 3 is 6 plus the 1 is 7. So now I'm going to add all 3 of my partial products together. I have a whole row of zeros here and here. 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry my 1. That makes 9, and this is 8. So my answer for this problem is going to be 89,000. And the question said again, about how many? So we would label it milliliters. Okay, here is some more practice. I have 346 times 354. I'm going to do this one with you, and then I'm going to have you guys work out B and C and then check it to see how you did. So we're going to start with 346 times 354. I'm going to begin with my 4 to the 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry my 2. 4 times 4 is 16 plus 2 is 18. Carry my 1. And then 4 times 3 is 12 plus the 1 is 13. All right, I'm going to mark out anything that I just did that had anything to do with that 4, plus I want to hold my place right here. Now I can start with my 5, and I'm going to take it to the 6, the 4, and then the 3. So 5 times 6 is 30. Carry my 3. 5 and 4 make 20, plus 3 is 23. Carry my 2. And 5 times 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17. Okay, get rid of those. Now remember, 2 placeholders here. Now I can do 3 times 6, which is 18, carry my 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, carry my 1. And 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 makes 10. So I add all 3 of my partial products together, and I end up with 4 in the last row column, 8 in the next to last column. Then I have 3 and 3, which is 6, plus 8, that's 14. 7 and 3 make 10, plus my 2 ones makes 12. Then I have 2 there and 1 here. So my answer for this problem is going to be 122,484. Now, what I want you to do is I want you guys to pause this video, and I want you to practice and solve problem B and problem C and see if you end up with the correct answer. So I'm going to put the answers up in just a few minutes, but I want you to work them out first. So go ahead and pause the video now. Okay guys, so after working them out, hopefully you ended up with these 2 answers for B and C. You can check your work. I would start by looking at your partial products. So look at the very first one. Did you get the first row correct? Did you make a mistake in your multiplication somewhere? Then go down to your next partial product. Look at what I marked out. I held that place. Did you remember to hold this place here? Then you multiply the 3 to each one of those places. And then you come down to look at this partial product. Do all of your numbers match? If they do, then maybe you made a mistake in the addition. Okay? Hopefully you got this one right. If not, maybe hopefully you were able to identify where your mistake was. Then come over here and look at C. I want you to do the same thing for this one as well. You can pause the video here to take a closer look if you need a little bit longer. If you have them right, then we can move on. And you guys, we are done today. So your assignment today is going to be on page 376, and this is for lesson 55. So actually, I take that back. Your written practice for lesson 55 does not start on page 376. It actually starts on page 382. So lesson 55 begins on page 382. So be sure that you're working on the correct lesson, guys. Don't start doing the wrong one. You want to be on page 382, 1 through 30. Y'all have a great day.